So you want to cut fat, want to get in better shape. How do you actually do that? But more importantly, how do you stay positive throughout the entire thing? Because more than likely, if you've tried to lose weight before, try to lose fat, you know it's very easy to get derailed. And when you're derailed, it's easier to fall off and not have as much as a positive mindset as you do when you started. So we're going to cover all that in this video, all 3 stages of how a fat loss phase will go, and then my tips on how you can actually keep that positive mindset, stay consistent, disciplined, and motivated all the way throughout. And just to establish why I'm a credible source, why the hell you should listen to me in the first place. My name's Jake. I was skinny fat and I lost 25 pounds of fat, built lean muscle, and now I coach guys. And these are the kind of results I get. Amazing results for my clients. Speak for themselves, right? Anyways, so now we have that out of the way. When you watch this video, I'm going to give you every single step you need to not maybe start your fat loss phase, reignite it, get back into it, really achieve the most for the new year. And then what mindset to keep throughout, some pointers, some tips. And I can guarantee the things in this video I'm going to talk about, you probably have not heard. Some things might be, you might know them, but if you didn't know it, just drop in the comments like, yo, I had no idea about blah, blah, blah. It'll be really useful. So let's get into it. First thing, I'm going to break this down into 3 stages of fat loss. So say, for example, we are a man who is 300 pounds. He is overweight. He's probably around 30% body fat, maybe a little bit higher. So very much overweight. We're going to make it as hard as possible for him. And if you're in that situation right now, this will apply directly to you. If you have less fat than that, even easier than this, right? So the first stage is positive reinforcement and eliminating his self-doubt, because he has over 30% body fat. He doesn't feel very confident at all. That's not even a thought. And he doesn't know the last time that he saw his body when he was in shape, or actually was lean, or had that like athletic look, or maybe he never has had an athletic tone look in his life and he wants to get to there. So that's his goal. The first stage, the biggest things are positive reinforcement and eliminating self-doubt. So what does that mean? His goal is to increase his health, because when you're extremely overweight, that's obviously the first issue, is you could literally die early from your weight. You could have a tragic accident and like break bones because you have so much weight on your body that your bones can't support it. Your heart might fail. There's a lot of big health problems that we need to get out of as soon as possible over the vanity stuff about looking better, because the health thing is the most important thing. And then daily life improvements. So when you are excessively overweight, day-to-day movements and things are way harder than they would be for most other people. So even just getting up out of bed, turning over, going up a flight of stairs, they're probably exhausted, out of breath, so you really got to think about these things. And this is what we need to tackle ultimately before we move on to anything else. So he's never done this before. He's never lost 100 or maybe even 150 pounds. He's never lost that before in his life. So it's a lot of room for doubt and negative self-talk, because like I said, he's never achieved this in his life. So he doesn't know what it feels like. He doesn't know what the steps are required to get to that point. And the biggest thing is there's no proof backing him up, right? When you have no proof, you're like, damn, am I really gonna be able to do this? Is this really possible? Can I really lose all this weight? Like, am I gonna be able to stick with it? All that self-doubt. So, and he also has zero correct knowledge. You might have heard some things about like, oh, well, I diet and eat healthy, don't eat fast food, cut out sugar, cut out carbs, and go to the gym 6 days a week. Oh, that's tough. What do I even do at the gym? There's a lot of questions, not very much knowledge at all. So what I would do to maintain that positive mindset during this phase, which is negotiably one of the hardest phases, is use outer motivation, because you don't have that proof to yourself yet that you can do this and you can achieve this. So relying more on the support of others. So have that be family, have that be a personal trainer. So let's go in the family example. Maybe your parents or brothers and sisters, they're in shape or they're fit. You could ask them to be like, hey, like I'm trying to lose weight. Could you hold me accountable? Like I'm just going to go to the gym 3 days per week and just go. And I want to check in with you every single time that I go. So I'll send you a text 3 days a week when I go to the gym. And if I don't text you, can you like call me out on it? And that's really cool, because then what you're doing, I like to call this borrowing confidence. you're borrowing confidence from other people. When those people in your life, they tell you, like your friends or family, tell you, dude, you can do this, like you're looking great, or that's a big goal, but like you're gonna do amazing. That outer support gives you the confidence that you don't have yet, because you don't have proof or evidence to back it up. And then having a personal trainer, obviously it's pretty self-explanatory. You have someone at the gym to show you what to do, to hold you accountable, and you're paying for them. So if you're paying attention, right? If you're paying, I don't know, 180, 50 bucks per session to go to the gym, you're going to show up most of the time, hopefully, right? But borrowing the trainer's confidence of, I know exactly what I'm doing, I know exactly how to help you, you're going to achieve this goal, let's just work together. And so that's the biggest thing to keep that positive mindset in that time, is using other people's confidence in you, because you don't entirely have all of that yet. Now, let's say this guy, he hires a trainer, uses his family as support to hold him accountable to his word. He hits the second stage. So he's lost just about 100 pounds. Feeling really good. He's about 200 right now, like 190 to 200. He lost 100 pounds. It's amazing. It's awesome. It really didn't take that much, just some simple shifts of not eating a crazy amount of food every day that's super unhealthy and actually just going to the gym 4 days per week. He was able to lose 100 pounds. That's incredible. What now? How do you stay positive through that at that 200, 190 weight? Because he's probably about 22% body fat, so still technically overweight. How do you stick to that? So the big problem here, the big thing to address at this stage is sticking to the plan and adapting, because your body has massively changed. It's all very new to you. You feel accomplished and achieved. You still have a belly. You still have extra fat. You probably would have a good amount of loose skin at this point. And the goal here is just to cut the flab, those leftover soft spots that are there. You just want to completely get rid of those and build muscle too, more than anything else, because you lost all the fat. Now it's time to actually build muscle. So in terms of technique and what you'll actually do at this phase is just upkeep the fat loss you've done already. So that means still eating healthy, still going to the gym. But in the gym, you're focusing more on weight training than anything else. Not as much cardio as you were doing before, more weight training to build muscle and activate your muscle metabolism. So that muscle increases your metabolism, the amount of calories you can eat in a day. So that's going to help you lose even more of the fat and build muscle because of the workouts you're doing in the gym. So that's technique. But what about the mindset? How do you stay positive and consistent and disciplined through this time? So we had the borrowed mindset from other people, but now we need to solidify a mindset for yourself. Okay. There's a lot of possibilities here, and you need to solidify that, okay, I'm going to make it to this next phase. I'm going to build muscle. I'm going to lose all this extra flab that I have and actually make sure that I'm not going to regress and fall back. That's probably one of the biggest things in this phase is the fear of regression or falling back. It feels like one wrong move and you're back to 300 pounds, or you're walking on a tightrope, and if you fall, it feels like it's really close and you might be going back 300 right away because you're not used to these results and you've only had them for a small amount of time. So in this point, it's also a lot more prone to comparison to others, because obviously when you're 300 pounds, you see people that are fit and in shape. It's definitely a thing that would plague your mind pretty often. You see fit people, probably like jealousy and envy. I'm like, oh, I wish I was like that. I wish I was born skinny. I wish I was fit. I wish I was in shape. Those are the thoughts that I had even when I was skinny fat. I was like, I wish I was born athletic like these other people. I wish I was born with a six-pack. Then everything would be so much easier. But now, since you're at like 22% body fat, you now struggle with the comparison to others. Instead of seeing at a point where the 300-pound person's way over here, the fit person's over here, now they're about here. They're a lot closer, and it's like, oh my God, that's so close. I can taste it, but I don't have it yet. So it's more comparison of like, well, I don't have a six-pack. My biceps aren't that big yet. I have all this extra skin, and they don't. So since you're closer to being fit than you are to being extremely fat, you're not quite fit enough. So this is almost where I started back in my days as being skinny fat, and that might be where you're at now, but it's like a very similar thing. If you're like, I'm so close to those people that are fit. I'm definitely not extremely overweight at this point, but nevertheless, it's still uncomfortable. I still have a stomach. I'm still self-conscious. I still don't take off my shirt when I go to the pool. all these things. So how do you actually get over that? It's more just realizing to love your own journey and also use the confidence that you just got. Because if you just lost 100 pounds, that's confidence in itself. If you just did that, regardless of your fear of falling back or not, you did that. You have the confidence that you're like, I lost this 100 pounds. I can easily lose another 20 to 30 pounds. That ain't nothing, right? And then just building muscle and having trust in that process while you're building the muscle, reminding yourself that every single day, still relying on the family. A trainer would help, but not necessary at this point. It depends. It depends how serious you are. It depends on your funds. Depends on a lot of different things. But then you get to the third stage. Okay, now we're talking. We're like 14, 15% body fat. You have visible abs. They're not like popping out crazy bodybuilder style, but like you have that beach body. You have a six pack. Your chest is decently sized. Your arms are pretty big. You have that toned, fit, tight look. You look really good. You looked at what you could only dreamed of having when you were in the third stage of being extremely overweight, or the first stage. Now, the goal is to build even more lean mass while still keeping that toned, athletic look. So the goal at this point is becoming a fitness person. Like, that's who you are. Now fitness is a part of your life. You spend 4, maybe even 5 days a week in the gym because you're really building as much muscle as you possibly can. And you know that you're not going to gain that fat back no matter what. You know that without a doubt. At this phase, what helps is, one, you're no longer in the fear of regression. You know, you're not going to fall back to being 300 pounds. And what's going to help you the most is staying competitive mentally. So being your own critic, not comparing yourself to other people, but looking at past you and being like, okay, I see what I improved. I see what I fixed. What can I improve and get better on in the future? And almost become obsessive over that, because now fitness is such a big part of your life. You're like, well, what if I can get to 8% body fat, and how much muscle can I actually build? You know, it's fun. And another thing is, if you can see it as climbing a ladder almost, and pursuing it as if it's like a game, like there's levels, and right now you just prestiged and now you're like back at level 1, but as like a fit guy, not as a fat guy. And now it's like climbing, okay, how do I get to level 10, 20, 30, 40, 50? What are the next levels from here? And just reminding yourself of that and being motivated and wanting the drive to get to those next levels by just reminding yourself of where you came from, how much you've achieved so far, and how much potential is in front of you. So to recap, those are the 3 stages. Wherever you are, apply those mental thought patterns to each stage, whatever you're at. And this should be really useful, even if you're not 300 pounds and overweight. If you're 180 pounds, 160 pounds, if you know you're overweight, these will still apply to you. So use this stuff and these thought patterns, because the mental side is the biggest, most important part. You could have the greatest diet in the world. You could have the perfect training plan, perfectly dialed. You could go every single day, 100% commitment. But if your mindset isn't up to date, you're not actually having a solid mindset to go off of, you're not going to stay consistent. You're going to fall off, and all of that work is going to be for absolutely nothing. So the mindset is the most important part. So first one, positive reinforcement. Eliminate that self-doubt. You can do this, even if it's your first time doing this, easily. Second, stick to the plan and adapt. Just know that I can get to that next level. It's very possible that it's there. Look at what you've done so far. Third level, get that desire, that hunger to grow even more. You know, obsession, almost becoming crazy about it. And I hope you found this video useful. Subscribe if you're not already. And I'll have a link down in the description if you want to book a call to chat to see if we're a good fit to start working together. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.